The story begins by showing us many colors which are sticking to a hand as if it were paint, and there is a voice that is narrating a message about humanity. This message talks about the idea that humanity has about good always defeating evil, but then the narrator proposes the idea of what would happen if evil is redefined as order and progress. Then we are shown a person wearing a Red Ranger suit, which I must say is the best Power Ranger suit I have ever seen in my life, and in this same image there are several silhouettes of different colors. Then the narrator asks us, in what kind of world would a superhero be created? In this image we can see a sign that says New Elter and gives buyers a warning. We then start to see Lauren Shiba, who is on the run as she is being attacked, but this doesn't stop her. The police are trying to arrest Lauren, but we quickly realize that these are not your typical Earth police. These officers are called Earth Security Task Force. They have very powerful weapons and have blue skin, so we can assume they are from Elter. Because Lauren had no other way to escape, she decides to use her samurai morpher to transform, and this would be the first Power Rangers Prime transformation. Unfortunately, one of the officers shot the morpher and Lauren was unable to complete the transformation, but this is not going to stop her. She starts to use her sword to defend herself, and from this moment on we can start to see some excellent action scenes. We then start to see Lauren attack the officers with kicks, but here we see one of the first changes in Power Rangers Prime. Normally we are used to Rangers never losing fights, but on this occasion Lauren is easily stopped when she gets an arrow in the shoulder. Despite this, she uses a very powerful attack to distract the officers and manages to escape. Later we see a boy named Mark who has some marks on his face and goes to throw out the garbage. While doing this he is complaining about some unimportant things, but the important thing is that he mentions Orion, the Silver Ranger we met in Super Megaforce. When he opens the dumpster he realizes that there is a woman inside who is very hurt and asking for help, and she is Lauren, but Mark doesn't know her. At that precise moment an officer appears and begins to ask Mark for explanations as to why he is there at that moment. Something important is that this officer calls Mark as a refugee and a rather long number. Mark explains that he just went out to throw out the garbage, and although the officer asked him if he had seen a blonde woman, Mark decided to lie and told him that he had not seen anyone. When the officers left, Mark quickly opened the dumpster to help Lauren, even though he didn't know what he was going to do with her. We then get to see the face of a young Eltarian that we are soon to meet. The next day, the story places us at Angel Grove University, but we can realize that this looks like a futuristic world. The professor is an Eltarian woman named Baral, and she starts talking about history, so she wants to talk about the history of Earth. Meanwhile, we can see that Mark is texting Orion to find out about Lauren's condition, and he replies that she is still snoring very loudly. Because the teacher notices that Mark is distracted, she asks him about his history since he is a refugee, and Mark says that he came to Earth when he was only 6 years old. The teacher wants to know if Mark remembers everything that happened when he arrived on Earth, but Mark tells her that he doesn't remember much, only that his home was destroyed. The teacher apologizes for bringing up such painful memories, but she gets the feeling that everyone shares much the same pain or privilege. Then the teacher asks June, the same Elter boy we saw earlier, to share his story because even though he is an Eltarian, he was born on Earth. Here begins the true story of Power Rangers Prime, and is that 70 years ago the Earth was invaded by the Beast Brigade of Gamma 7. Humans had never had contact with aliens and the entire human race were overwhelmed, so Elter did not stand idly by. Then the Eltarians became the protectors of Earth, and the humans welcomed him. Because of this, The Eltarians provided mankind with a lot of technology that would have taken centuries to develop, and this was very good for the Earth. Something interesting in this picture is that we can see a person from the planet Aquitar and an Eltarian very similar to Zardes, the officer who was a friend of Zordon and Lord Zed. The teacher tells June that this is a politically correct story, but the second part is that after that the Earth was colonized by Eltar and is now colony number 205. Now the teacher asks a key question and asks June and Mark to answer it. After all that has happened, is the Earth a better place? June's answer is yes, and Mark's answer is no. Later, June is out for sports and apparently practices martial arts. June is always running late, and his friend Valentina, who looks human, teases him by telling him that his mom is going to punish him by making him run. A friend of theirs named Ryan is fighting, and apparently he is so good at fighting that he easily defeats his opponent to go talk to his friends. Apparently Ryan is Valentina's boyfriend and a very close friend of June's, who also teases June by telling him that he is going to have to run for being late. June wants to have an important conversation with his friends, and Ryan thinks June wants to join the troopers, but Valentina thinks it's that he's going to have to explain to June about human stuff again. June tells them that he was investigating them again, but before he finishes his sentence his friends interrupt him saying that he won't start with the same story again. His friends think that this is fiction, but June assures them that they are not, and at that moment the conversation is interrupted by June's mother. She is Admiral Janessa, and she quickly asks Cadet Ryan to calm down since he was a little scared when he saw her coming. The Admiral wants to talk to her son and begins to tell him that he has always loved myths and legends, but he should stop because he is no longer a child. She also tells him that these conversations are dangerous and that he should only observe the land they have created, a land protected and at peace. After that she tells June that his tardiness reflects on her, so she chastises him and asks him to go run several laps, but also tells him to remember where his loyalty lies. Now we see that somewhere else the VR troopers are fighting some mutants, and this whole battle is being shown on TV, but it's not a fictional show, it's real life. For those who don't know VR Troopers, it was a series premiered in 1994 that only had 2 seasons and was created by Sabans using the same formula of Power Rangers. He bought scenes from a Japanese series and adapted it for America, but because the Japanese scenes were finished, then VR Troopers ended in 1996. Now Hasbro are the owners of these characters, and it is for this reason that they have started using them in these comics. Orion is preparing food for Lauren, who was awakened by Doobie, Orion's dog. Lauren feels a little unsure as she doesn't know what's going on, but Orion tries to explain to her that her friend Mark brought her here to help her. Lauren doesn't know who Mark is either, so Orion explains to her that Mark's real name is Markin and he is half Aquitar. Lauren thinks that she shouldn't be there since it's dangerous, but Orion tries to calm her down by telling her that her secret is safe. Orion also explains to her that he is also a refugee since he comes from Andresia even though he looks like a human, so he understands the sentiment. He also tells her that he arrived on Earth 10 years ago and is also not a big fan of the Eltarians occupying Earth. After this, Lauren began to trust Orion, and after telling him her name, Orion asked her about the reasons why she was running away. On the street, many policemen have arrived, and apparently this is Orion and Mark's apartment. Mark quickly tries to warn Orion about the cops, but an officer starts talking to Mark as he remembers seeing him the day he was throwing out the trash. The officer begins to ask Mark about Lauren, but Mark continues to say he doesn't know anything, and at that moment June appears, who stops the officer. June asks the officer to leave Mark alone, and although Mark doesn't know why June is helping him since they are not friends, June's answer is going to surprise him. June asks Mark about the blonde Power Ranger hiding in his apartment, but Mark doesn't understand what a Power Ranger is. Lauren begins to tell her story and says that many years ago her ancestors had a special responsibility. They used things called morphers to obtain a cosmic power called the Morphin grid and become the Power Rangers. In the image presented we can see that the leader of the team is a woman with black hair and that the beginning of this movement was in Japan, a clear reference to Sentai. Lauren says that for generations her family and other Rangers had protected the Earth as best they could. They battled monsters, mutants and many villains who wanted to destroy the Earth. In 1954 the Beast Brigade came to Earth and the Power Rangers fought them, but because the challenge was too great, the Eltarians came and saved the Earth. Then Eltar colonized the Earth and they didn't like the Power Rangers very much. Because of this the Eltarians hunted the Rangers to finish them off, but Lauren being a child managed to escape and since then she has been on the run until now. At that moment something exploded on the moon and an object began to fall to Earth rapidly. When we look closely, the object appears to be the same space garbage container in which Zordon had locked Rita, although in this universe we don't know if this happened. Hands begin to emerge from the dumpster, and they appear to be the same hands with multicolored paint that we saw at the beginning of the story. The woman who comes out of this container looks a lot like Rita Repulsa since she also has white hair, some of her clothes have some of the witch's details and she says the same words. After many years, I am finally free. After the space junk container Rita was locked in crashes to Earth, she finally gets to observe the Earth for the first time. She is a bit disappointed and says that the Earth doesn't look anything special. Quickly she senses the power of the Morphin grid, and it is near that place that Lauren's morpher was lying on the ground. Rita takes advantage of the moment and begins to create a connection with the object and wants to know where the morpher comes from. At that very moment the Eltarians arrive with their leader Captain Cannell and the person next to her is Bulk, the same one we have known all our lives, but here he is a quite different character. When the soldiers meet Rita, the captain quickly asks her to put her hands up and surrender, but obviously this is not what happens. We can see that Rita has a magical weapon, similar to her staff, but with a smaller size. At the same time, she is also using Lauren's morpher and apparently this gives her more power, or maybe she takes all the power of this morpher. Rita confesses that she was in that container for 1,000 years and for this reason she does not intend to give up. The soldiers can tell that she is a space witch, so now they have to be more aggressive to stop her, but that is not going to be easy. This is the first time Rita mentions her name saying that she is Rita Repulsa and then introduces her new monster. Many have said on social media that this monster is a homage to Golder from the 2017 movie as they look very similar, but this one is apparently made of lava or fire. Elsewhere, Mark and June are still together hoping to save Lauren, but Mark almost can't and starts wearing a water mask. We should remember that Mark is half Aquitian, so he needs water to breathe and survive. In the conversation, June calls Mark a refugee, but Mark asks him not to call him that as it is offensive. June apologizes to Mark, but then tells him that they need to discuss more important things and that is that Lauren is still hiding in Mark's apartment. Mark then confesses that he didn't know Lauren is a Power Ranger and June wants to know why Mark helped her. Mark basically tells him that it was because the Eltarian detention centers are terrible and then remembers that June is the captain's son, so obviously he hasn't seen those detention centers ever. Apparently this is not correct as June confesses to him that he wants to help Lauren because if Mark thinks detention centers are terrible, what they do to Power Rangers is worse. On the other side, Rita continues to destroy everything and the soldiers are not able to stop her because she is very powerful. The giant monster spits a lot of energy, and the captain has only been able to cover herself with her shield, but she has not been able to stop the monster. Since she has not been able to stop the monster, she decides to attack Rita directly, and with her weapon she manages to cut Rita's face a little. Despite this, Rita hits her hard and leaves her lying on the floor unconscious. Inside the apartment, Lauren and Orion are watching TV and see an ad for the VR troopers promoting some protein bars, which Lauren thinks is kind of humiliating. At that moment the guards knock on the door, and although Lauren wants to confront them, Orion won't let her as he has another plan. When Orion opens the door, the guards ask him to let them into the apartment, but he tells them he can't since his dog always runs away. Despite this, the guards don't care at all and push the door open, but at that point the dog quickly escapes. This was Orion's plan, as now he tells the guards that because of him the dog escaped and now they must go and look for him. On the other side, Rita has already defeated all the guards, including the captain, but apparently she has other plans with Bulk. Rita's monster is out of control, but she hasn't realized what is happening, and at that moment Bulk warns her that the monster is going to attack her. When Rita turns around, the monster says that she is trash, so he proceeds to attack her. She tries to dodge the attack and then kicks the monster hard, but this causes a huge explosion that throws her far away. The monster has been destroyed and Bulk takes that moment to send a warning to the command center. The other soldiers tell him that they are going to send reinforcements and then ask about the captain, but Bulk tells them that she is unconscious somewhere. Although perhaps Bulk thought Rita had been defeated, she returns and grabs him by the throat. Although perhaps Bulk thought that Rita was going to take his life, she actually did the opposite and told him that because thanks to his warning she saved his life, then he will be able to live too. Rita thinks that her creatures now have minds of their own, so she is going to need a minion while she re-establishes her magic, and it must be someone who can't kill her. It is for this reason that she chooses Bulk as her new minion and asks him to follow her as she has many doubts about this world. June takes Mark to her apartment, which is gigantic and luxurious, so obviously Mark is very excited to see all that luxury. Something interesting is that June's jacket has the colored diamonds on it, something very similar to the diamonds on the Mighty Morphin costumes. At that moment someone knocks on the door, and surprisingly it's Lauren and Orion, who had been invited by June. Later, Lauren and Mark start a conversation, and she thanks Mark for helping her when he found her in the dumpster. Lauren apparently thought that Mark helped her because she is a Power Ranger, but Mark confesses that he didn't know that at the time. Just then Valentina, June's friend and roommate, arrives. She had a date with her boyfriend and canceled that date because June told her he had an emergency. As she was walking in, she was asking June if he knew about the fugitive refugee alert, and when she looks up, she realizes that those same fugitives were in her apartment. Although June thought Valentina was going to be friendly about the situation, the reality was that she quickly wanted to call the guards, but Lauren quickly kicks her. This quickly turns into a fight, but the guys manage to stop them so they can talk more calmly. Mark asks June to tell Valentina the truth, and even though he didn't want to because he thought she would get mad, he confessed to her that Lauren is a Power Ranger. This made Valentina angrier, but June tells her that she knows what they do to Power Rangers when they find them. Rita is on the edge of a very tall building and Bulk is standing next to her, very nervous as he thinks she is going to throw him from there. Rita is telling him that the Eltarians have the planet under subjugation and took his identity from him. She also complains to him since Bulk is wearing the Eltarian guard's uniform and knows that he helped them subdue the planet. Bulk's only excuse for doing that is that he needed a job, and that job as a guard in the government has many benefits. Rita tells Bulk that humans are simple creatures and that there is happiness in that ignorance, which is why she envies them. All this time, Rita has been calling Bulk by his full name, but he tells her that she can call him Bulk, so she approves since it is a stupid name for a stupid creature. She then gives him a choice between remaining a subject or being a free person. On the roof of June's apartment, Valentina is deep in thought as she has to make a decision between keeping the secret or calling the guards. She is very angry with June for putting her in this position and has her cell phone in her hand as it is a very complicated decision. Mark is doubting whether they should trust Valentina, but June tells him not to insult her best friend by doubting her loyalty. However, June has been texting Valentina and she hasn't responded. Lauren is unsure if June's apartment is a safe place to stay, but June explains to her that Eltarians would never search this place. Lauren then explains that she can't stay here forever since she only came to Angel Grove to look for her family, but she can't help them if she can't transform. Valentina didn't call the guards, but she called her boyfriend, who is a VR trooper, and asked him to talk to June to change his mind. Valentina's boyfriend lied to her, and even though he said he was going to talk to June, in reality now his plan is to capture Lauren. 2 years ago, at the Natural History Museum in Angel Grove, Mark was with his teacher seeing everything there, and basically they let us know that there are all the hidden treasures of the earth. Despite this place is only for a few privileged people, and now they have allowed refugees to enter as well. In these images we can see a clear reference to the animals used by the mighty Morphin team, and we will see more later. The teacher gives Mark special permission for him to enter the building whenever he wants so he can complete his projects, but she also tells him that he cannot abuse that privilege and that he must stay only in the areas where he has access. As they are walking, Mark finds a door open and the teacher explains that there are artifacts inside for an exclusive and very special exhibit. Although they left for another place, in the images we can see what is inside the place that was open, and what is there is the Blue Ranger's power coin, but it is broken. In the present, at Angel Grove University, they are still trying to convince Valentina to cooperate with the plan to help Lauren. Valentina is still angry and thinks June has such an obsession with the Power Rangers that he now wants to help a runaway and is not thinking about what his mother might say. June thinks she shouldn't find out about anything, but Valentina says she always finds out about everything eventually. Lauren thinks Orion is different, and Mark tells her that they met at the museum 2 years ago when they were both interns at the museum. Lauren is surprised since she didn't think Orion was smart, but Mark explains to her that he is very smart, but he knows how to hide it very well. On top of that, he also tells her that Orion is a very good roommate and never questioned when Mark rescued the dog. After the atmosphere calmed down a bit, June decides to introduce Valentina to the group, but there is still a lot of tension. Valentina asks for a truce for now and wants to know how she can get Lauren to leave. Lauren explains to her that her family is in the Angel Grove Detention Center and she is not leaving without them. After this, the two begin to argue again, and Lauren reveals that she needs a morpher in order to get her Power Ranger powers back. Mark decides to interrupt the argument and says that he knows where they can get a morpher. Elsewhere, Rita and Bulk arrive at what we previously knew as Zordon's command center, and we can see that Rita says this is a place with great power. The plan she has is to enter this center and take all the power for herself. Bulk is a bit confused as he obviously knows what is inside this place and doesn't understand Rita's words. Being inside the place, Rita realizes that this center is a place to meditate and not what she expected. The person who greets them is RJ, the Purple Ranger from Jungle Fury, who is now a master of meditation, and I don't think he is a ranger in this universe. The weirdest part of all this is that Rita thought that this place was a center with power, as if she had already been in this place before or in another dimension where this place really was what she says. After RJ offers Rita all the services of this place, we can see that she is very angry and not even a meditation session is going to take away that anger. After this, Rita decides to set the whole place on fire with her magic and we can see that she is really enjoying it. Despite all this, Rita is still confused and wants to understand what has happened to this world and who is in charge now. Bulk replies to her that the Eltarians have colonized this world for several years now and Rita is surprised by this answer. She again starts to get angry as she just got out of one prison only to land in another prison, plus her need for power keeps getting worse and worse. She also says that morphers are not going to keep falling in front of her, so she must keep looking. Quietly, Bulk had marked where they were, but Rita grabs him by the arm and breaks his artifact, though she didn't do it on purpose. She asks Bulk about the Power Rangers and threatens him to answer correctly. At the museum, the group begins the search for a morpher and we must remember that Mark has had access to this place for 2 years. Despite this, he knows that he is risking that special permission since he should not have entered in this way and with unauthorized people. Lauren and Valentina continue to argue and are now talking about how powerful the dinosaurs must have been. Valentina admits that she too would like to have great power, but also accuses Lauren that she too wants that great power as that is precisely what they are looking for now. Valentina doesn't know if Lauren really has noble motives, but Lauren tells her that she is just trying to survive. In one of the rooms there are many colored rocks or crystals and in the center there is a large hollow stone, although it could also be a giant egg. Suddenly a loud explosion is heard there and Rita has opened an entrance to the museum. Obviously this sets off an alarm, but quickly Rita deactivates that alarm with her magic. Bulk still doesn't understand how Rita was able to turn off the alarms, but she reminds him that she is a space witch and having a connection to the Morphin grid has its advantages. She explains that she was infused as a child to put her on a good path, but obviously this didn't work, although it has clearly been useful. Bulk tells Rita that the Morphin grid is a myth, but Rita responds by basically telling him that he's a Morphin. Ryan has been texting Valentina to find out if she is still with June, but she has ignored the messages. When the alarm starts going off, everyone freaks out and starts running, but then they realize that suddenly the alarm stopped. Even though the alarm stopped, Mark suggests that they should leave the museum as the guards should be arriving soon, but Lauren tells him that it's too late. Everyone stopped as Lauren senses something is coming and suddenly the person who arrives is Rita accompanied by Bulk. In this image we can confirm June, Valentina, Lauren, Mark and Orion are going to be the new Rangers. We can also confirm the colors of each one and we see that June will be the Black Ranger, Valentina the yellow one, Lauren we already know is the red one, Mark the blue one and Orion the pink one. Lauren warns the others that they should run now, but Orion wants to know who Rita is and Lauren tells him she can smell the stink of magic. Bulk doesn't know what those young men, kids, are doing there and Rita tells him they are probably intruders looking for adventure. Rita quickly remembers seeing Lauren transform and tells him that she gave her the ingredients to create her wand. Lauren starts attacking Rita and asks her to return the morpher. The two begin to fight, but it is proving to be a very difficult fight for Lauren as Rita is very powerful and skilled. Outside the museum is the captain, June's mother, who asks the guards to wait while the city admiral arrives. June doesn't know what to do and Orion wants to enter the fight to help Lauren. The captain says that, if the information she has is correct, then it's best to leave this situation to the troopers. They have just arrived and Caitlin, one of the troopers, asks Ryan, Valentina's boyfriend, if he is okay with this mission. Ryan says that the governor said that the priority is the ranger and although this is not going to please June and Valentina, he is going to do this help both of them. Inside the museum, Rita has trapped Orion with magic and thrown him hard. Mark tries to use the water mask to try to calm down, June thinks they should help somehow and Valentina thinks they should leave as this is not their fight. Rita is disappointed as even though Lauren can't transform, she still tries to fight, but then throws a bunch of stuff from the museum at her. Rita tells Lauren that her soul is strong, but her body is weak. June is scared as he doesn't want his mother to find him there, and Orion still wants to help Lauren, but Mark says they can't even help themselves. Rita realizes that they are all trapped, so she makes an offer to Lauren to join forces. Rita says they can combine their magic with Lauren's powers, so Lauren accepts the offer. After this, Rita begins a magic to combine a dinosaur bone with another object that we can't see very well, and this turns it into a power coin that functions as a morpher. This new morpher transforms Lauren into the first Ranger Prime, a more powerful ranger than she was before. 10 years ago, on the planet Elter, June and his mother were arriving in a ship and already have the permission to land. This is the first time that June traveled to this planet, and for this reason he is very nervous. June says that he does not know these people and that he grew up on Earth, but his mother asks him to be calm because now they are at home. Commander Yalam receives them and wants to know about the things that have happened on Earth. The commander wants to know if the soldiers on Earth need help, but the admiral tells him that for now they don't need help. The commander warns her to be careful with the people on Earth and the beings that help them. After this conversation, the commander asks June's name and then realizes that he is the admiral's son. The commander says that June does not have a shaved head since Eltarians shave their heads when they are old enough, but the admiral says that June has not yet reached that age. The commander thinks that the admiral is wasting June since he has the necessary attributes to be a guardian, but the admiral says that June needs time since he was born on Earth. She also says that June's immersion with the inhabitants of Earth is calculated as the humans now trust him, plus she also says that June's heart is the strongest thing he has. In the present, the group is amazed with Lauren's transformation and can't believe that she really is a Power Ranger. Lauren is a bit confused as her costume has changed, and Rita explains to her that it is infused with jasper to give her more strength. Jasper is a fairly hard stone that is used for jewelry and can appear in several colors, including red. Rita then tells Lauren that she will grow taller if he starts serving her, but this surprises Lauren a lot and Orion as well. Rita tells Lauren to get ready for the first fight, but Lauren is more concerned about her new friends and asks Mark about a way for them to escape. Mark tells her there is a way out through the basement, but there is a cage that prevents them from going that way, and then Lauren cuts through those bars like butter. Valentina grabs June by his clothes to force him to go with her so they can escape together, and Orion is worried about Lauren since there are so many guards, but she tells him that Rita is going to help her. This does not reassure Orion as he thinks Rita is evil, but Lauren thinks she is just eccentric. Valentina keeps forcing June to escape but then tries to convince him with words and actually succeeds. Now June wants Mark to escape too, but Mark reminds her that they can't abandon Lauren. At that moment, an explosion is heard and the Elter guards enter the museum, but they are to be greeted by two powerful women. Lauren says she doesn't know why Rita gave her this power, but the witch replies that Lauren needed it and she needs Lauren. Then there is another loud explosion that greatly affects Rita and Lauren. The Admiral has arrived and starts by giving Lauren and Rita a warning to surrender as they are not going to want what is to come. This warning causes Rita to have more desire to fight and she uses her magic to awaken a dinosaur fossil. Lauren begins her attack, and the Admiral warns the guards to be careful as she is a ranger. The Admiral uses her shield to protect herself from the Red Ranger's sword, but the guards are hit hard. Orion, Mark, June and Valentina are running down the hallway trying to get to the lab, and although June thinks the guards can catch them, Valentina says the guards have other priorities. Orion stops them all and says that they can't abandon Lauren, but Mark doesn't know what else they can do. Orion replies that they can at least let Lauren know that she is not alone and then tells everyone that they did not abandon or report Lauren. Orion then realizes that Bulk was hiding near them and Bulk says his name but is also confused when he says he is Rita's idiot. Bulk explains that he didn't want to be in the middle of the fight, so he was trying to escape as well. Lauren continues to fight the guards and is winning the fight for now. Rita tries to help her with her magic and then gives an order to the dinosaur fossil. When the dinosaur tries to attack, it gets a very strong energy shot and everyone is shocked, plus they got part of the blast. This explosion was very sudden, and they still don't know where it came from. The explosion was so loud that the group could hear it in the hallway, and Orion runs to find out if Lauren is okay. Mark is also worried, and then Valentina grabs June by the arm to accompany Orion as she knows June is going anyway, but Bulk prefers to stay there. This explosion destroyed the dinosaur and left Lauren in bad shape, so she wants to know where that shot came from. The Admiral taunts Lauren, and the Red Ranger says that she didn't know the Admiral had that level of power, but the Admiral tells her that she doesn't. Suddenly, Lauren also receives an energy shot, and this shot came from behind the Admiral. The ones who provoked this shot were the VR troopers, who had agreed to come to the museum to catch the Ranger and are a little disappointed since they started the fight without them. The Admiral tells them that they were late, and she had no choice, so she had to start. Even though Lauren took a heavy hit, she is still on her feet and ready to continue fighting. The troopers start attacking Lauren and she is dodging all the shots, plus the group is hiding trying to find a way to help the Red Ranger. June can't believe that the ones attacking Lauren are the troopers, and Orion is confused as he thought the troopers were the good guys. Valentina confesses to June that she told Ryan about the situation, and apparently she is now a little sorry she did it. Ryan, who is the leader of the VR troopers, hits Lauren hard and breaks her helmet. Bulk arrives on the scene and starts trying to wake Rita up by telling her that she is losing. Ryan orders the troopers to stop and bring Lauren in. Meanwhile, Bulk tells Rita that she was right, so he has decided to help her. Rita says that she can't win if she has only one ranger as her resources are running low, but Bulk has a plan and brings Rita some different colored stones that apparently can work as resources for the witch to work her magic. Valentina tries to stop Ryan as he is hanging Lauren, and Ryan is confused. Mark asks Rita to do something to help Lauren since she was the one who caused this, and the witch tells them that she can do the same thing to them too so they can help Lauren. Rita starts doing the same ritual she did when she gave Lauren her powers, but now she is using the stones Bulk brought her. The Admiral tells Ryan that this is taking too long, and then Ryan gives an order to the Admiral for everyone to get out of the museum as they need space to work. This makes the Admiral very angry as she doesn't take orders from the troopers, but she understands that Ryan is right and orders everyone to vacate the place to give the troopers space. Rita has turned the stones into coins with dinosaurs drawn on them and says that the Ranger's power comes from the power of choice. She can't force them to choose the power, they must reach out and take it for themselves. Then Rita gets a strong energy shot in the back, and now the group must quickly choose what they want to do. Orion and Mark are very sure of their choice, but June and Valentina are still undecided. Then June says that they have always chosen everything for him and this time he wants to make his own decisions. Ryan tries to stop Valentina from taking the coin, but she has already made the decision as she feels she can't just stand there and do nothing. Ryan thinks she doesn't understand the decision she has made, and then there is an awesome glare at the transformation that just happened. These are the new Power Rangers Prime. Four years ago, at the Eltarian consulate in the Angel Grove, Mark and Orion are working as waiters at a party there. Orion feels quite uncomfortable with his clothes as he has never worn such clothes on his home planet and feels that he looks like a penguin. There are many important people at this party, but there are also the children of those important people. A man named Corpius tries to make fun of Orion because there are no more people left on his planet and he is the last one alive. Along with Corpius is Piggy, a character who had already appeared in the SPD series, but here he may have a different story and personality. Meanwhile, in another part of the same place, the Admiral is having a conversation with the mayor, and in that same conversation are June and Valentina. Mark tries to defend his friend, but Corpius and Piggy continue the taunting and Valentina realizes the situation. Orion decides to confront Corpius and throws a glass of water at him. We quickly realize that the glass of water was thrown by Valentina in order to save Orion and Mark from the situation. We should mention that at the time Valentina did not know either Orion or Mark, so this was an act of kindness as she knew they could be in trouble for being refugees. It should also be mentioned that Orion and Mark had just met at that party, and from that moment on they decided to be friends. In the present, the new Ranger team has finally transformed and now they must face the VR troopers. The new Rangers are very nervous and can't believe what is happening. The VR troopers are a little confused as they think the Rangers are multiplying and just of different colors like crayons. Lauren tells troopers that they must now escape as they are not going to want to face a full team of Rangers. Despite this, troopers taunt Lauren as they think she has too much faith in their team, but Lauren tells them that faith is all she needs. Ryan then tells Lauren that even if the Rangers manage to defeat the troopers, it won't change anything since the Eltarians will be waiting for them outside the building. Rita starts planning an attack due to Ryan talking too much, and it seems that with her magic she manages to get Orion a new weapon. While Ryan tries to convince Lauren to surrender, Orion uses his new weapon to hit Ryan with a heavy blow, which infuriates him. Despite the strong blow, Orion doesn't quite understand what happened as he says that weapon just appeared in his hands and his intention was to shut Ryan up, it wasn't to hit him that hard. Valentina worries about Ryan, and when she goes to see if he is okay, she gets hit hard by an energy shot. The battle has just started and June tries to help Valentina, but he also gets hit hard. June manages to approach Ryan and tells him that he can't believe he would let them shoot Valentina. Ryan is a bit confused, but with a punch he manages to push June away so he can take control of the situation. After this we can see that June manages to get his new weapon, a long stick with a snake head, and tells Ryan that nothing is under control. All the Rangers start attacking the troopers with their new weapons and the troopers start attacking as well. This is chaos, a battle of powerful warriors, and we don't know if the experience of the troopers is going to be able to beat 5 Rangers. June starts to confront Ryan and the trooper can't believe June is in this battle as he feels this is none of his business. June thinks Ryan is in the wrong and he is not going to be able to arrest them all. Lauren confronts Caitlin and the trooper uses a surprise attack as she multiplies. This attack surprises Lauren and this way Caitlin was able to kick the Red Ranger hard. This kick was very powerful and throws Lauren far away, basically knocking her out of the fight. Even though there is a strong battle, Valentina keeps trying to stop everything, but she also gets a strong kick from Caitlin. Luckily, Ryan arrives in time and manages to stop the fight, but the troopers are confused. The other troopers want to continue fighting, but Ryan tells them that the Rangers are not mutants, so they can resolve this another way. Despite this, JB tells Ryan that even though they are not mutants, they are still Rangers and the troopers have an order to follow. This makes Valentina very angry as she knew nothing about that order. Although everything was calming down, suddenly the dinosaur skeleton arrives and starts attacking the troopers. Lauren is still in a daze and Rita starts to encourage her to get up as the Rangers are losing the battle. Rita also explains to her that they must escape as the Ranger team is not yet ready for a battle and she has created a distraction for them to do so. The wisest words Rita tells Lauren is that there are 2 groups fighting, but there is only one team. Obviously, this team is the troopers as they are very experienced and know how to fight as a team. Rita also tells her that the Blue Ranger is paralyzed with fear, the Pink Ranger has a lot of enthusiasm but few skills, the Black Ranger has talent but abandoned strategy because of his emotions, and the Yellow Ranger is too busy looking in 2 directions. The solution now is not to fight, so Lauren must make a decision and she says that what they must do now is to survive. Now we can see that Lauren uses her sword, but she also uses Rita's staff to create a big explosion, and with this she destroys the dinosaur, but also hurts the troopers. Ryan's helmet has been destroyed, and this explosion has acted as a distraction for the Rangers to escape. Bulk is escaping through a secret path, and Rita manages to catch him, so she claims him for escaping. Bulk tells Rita that he wasn't escaping, he was waiting for her at that location. While Rita is surprised by Bulk's loyalty, June notices that Valentina is crying. Valentina is very angry and throws the helmet on the ground. June tries to calm her down, but Valentina doesn't want to be touched. She starts to say that, if June had not brought the refugees, then all this would not have happened. She also regrets telling Ryan about the refugees, and Rita says that the problems on this team run deep, so she tells Lauren that she needs to do something. Valentina gets very angry with Rita as she feels this is her fault too, but Rita tells her that she didn't force them to take the coin. Valentina says that her friend was in danger, so she had no choice, but Rita replies that it is for that very reason that she is a Power Ranger, as deep in her heart she is a champion. Despite those words, Valentina still feels that her life has changed too much in several hours, since at the beginning of that day she had a boyfriend and had a life, but now she has nothing. Rita tells her that it was all an illusion and she is the best thing that ever happened to Valentina. These harsh words make Valentina very angry and she starts attacking Rita, but the witch dodges the first blow easily. Despite that, Valentina continues attacking the witch and Rita keeps dodging the blows in a very easy way. Then Rita says that Valentina has proven that she is not worthy of that power and then hits her hard. Valentina falls to the ground and her armor quickly disappears. June tries to help her and Valentina tells her to leave now or she is going to tell June's mother everything that is happening. June tells her that they can't leave this, they can't leave the world, and Valentina reminds June that he is Eltarian. Valentina keeps trying to convince June to leave this place and says that they should leave now to try to fix this while it is still possible. June doesn't know what to do and Rita tells her to leave, but in a mocking way. Lauren can't believe that Rita would let June and Valentina leave, but Rita says that she is no longer in the business of creating mindless pawns. Orion claims that he left and she can't find him, but the others are confused since they all saw that June left. Orion says he wasn't talking about June, he was talking about Mark. The Blue Ranger was caught by the troopers and Ryan apologizes for what is about to happen, but he wants answers.